hello everybody. Thank
Hello.
you so much for joining us today on the very first episode of A Studio of One's Own, named after Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. So this is actually a weekly online dialogue session that seeks to reach out to various artists from quiet corners of the world and also to catch up with them on their changing creative routines now that they've been confined to their home space. So along with Gwen, the director of DEC, and I will be talking to Rattana Vandy, who was born in Cambodia, but he's currently residing in Tokyo, Japan, which I have just learned. And he is an artist that explores and portrays episodes of historical violence through understated and tranquil images. And so today we'll talk about his process of being at home and how this quarantine has affected his creative process. So why don't you give us a little update on how you're doing, Rattana? Can you share a little bit on how the quarantine life has been for you?
Um, well, it's not really quite tough here in Japan.
Okay,
Well, we were on a state of emergency last week, I think, but
right.
now they already lifted the ban.
So you have resumed
So
now.
still around, and but of course the gathering is very limited. I mean,
Mm,
when I walk out of my home, particularly I just go to the market to buy some food. Of course,
okay.
it's so quiet. Just at 8 or 9, it's super quiet.
Oh wow. Are you guys allowed to go out and just live about your daily like normal, or are there some restrictions in place?
Well, you can travel, but I prefer not because, of course, it's the virus. Right?
Yeah.
We cannot see it. So I have to reduce my travel. For example, if I would like to go to a mountain, I cannot.
Okay.
Just stay home and go to market and write and think about my project.
Mm,
And I start to draw, but
mm,
it lasts very short because
yeah, that's
not my
true.
practice. Yeah, because just try to find something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, like that makes me wonder as an artist because your work is a lot of like going outdoors and taking photographs of the land and the spaces. So how has like the creative process changed for you, and how do you think, like, do you still create at home? Like you said you were drawing now more often.
Uh, Actually, I don't really go out to take pictures,
Okay.
but psychologically,
Mm.
I, if there was no virus, psychologically, I feel free to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
now that
now,
there's the virus, you stay at home and you
yes,
don't go
yes,
out.
yeah, I
Ah,
cannot because that's psychologically, I feel, oh my God, I cannot go anywhere.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
It's
how
just
does
like sorry. It's just
no, no,
like
no.
someone put me
Mm.
you put me. It's like someone is in jail just for fun. You will feel
Mm.
okay, but if
Yeah.
you're gonna stay here for another year, you don't
Oh
feel
wow. Yeah.
something like that. Something like that.
I see.
Mm.
Okay, okay.
I think it's interesting because when I first encounter your work, Ratana, it's the very early work of yours made in 2009, the Bond Pond.
The bump.
Yeah. And subsequently, a lot of your work navigate through the past and connecting the past to the present in almost looking at the kind of trauma
Mm.
that history had brought to the current society and the current generations. And
Mm.
right now, we are going through this pandemic, right?
Right.
Have you given thoughts like how this current situation sort of like could be also that trauma that later on we at we as the people have to actually resolve or come to terms with coming from this pandemic?
Oh,
Sorry for jumping.
I don't know. If it's gonna be a trauma for people. I mean, if people are going to remember this very long, I I don't think so, because people are very easy to forget things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's,
like
it's
where
just
you
us,
say
It's
about
just
easy to forget.
sorry.
I agreed about the part where you say that people is easy to forget. I think this is something that is also raised in your work, whereby people could be looking at a petty few and forgotten what underlying history or the past that's hidden away. Just like the Bonpon or even the earlier work looking at the Khmer Rouge in your work. And it's true, like at this point when we're going through the pandemic, the thoughts and the feeling of most people is, oh, I can't wait for this to be over, and getting it rid of, like, like a terrible year that you can't wait for it to end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I think now people more, particularly the politicians, they have a very bad habit, because they take everything as a political matter,
Yeah, for sure.
because
Can you
this is
elaborate on
quite
that?
opportunistic right now. People, I don't know why, because this is pandemic, this virus, it's scientific. It must deal with with it scientifically, not politically. But if you look at the tension now around the world, the China and America and
Yeah.
all these superpower, they, they I don't know the word is employ, right? They use this kind of
Mm,
the,
yeah. It's quite
the
scary. Like
yeah,
you would think
for
even.
matter inside this problem.
Mm,
Yeah, true.
They must justify, this is pandemic virus, cannot
yeah.
be politics, and it's scientific.
Yeah, like even like a natural disaster can be weaponized into something like political tool, used to create so much tension. It's
Mm.
really very sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And yes, if the politicians continue this way, of course, perhaps there might be I don't know, conflict that cause uh, it could be war, and that will leave the trauma to the people.
Mm,
yeah, but I think it's like also when we think about like currently how different countries are going through different stages of this pandemic. I mean, right now in Singapore, we are opening up after our circuit breaker. So and but while during this circuit breaker, there have been so much changes, so much cancellations, uh, fairs, exhibitions, festivals has been cancelled around the world.
Yeah, of course.
Um, yeah, so I just also coming back, what would this anti calendar year mean for artists, for you? And what does it mean for the rest of the artists too? Because the platform is really so important for the artists to present our work.
Yeah. Oh, we go bankrupt. Huh? And in any
It's
crisis, the
really
arts suffer.
bread and
Yeah,
butter.
in any crisis, the art suffers first.
Mm,
Mm.
Even the economic crisis, the art suffers first. And now the art suffers first. Yes. The museum, the projects cancelled or suspended. We don't know when.
mm,
We have no answer now, because we don't really know when the vaccine will be out. So we don't
yeah.
have guarantee. We don't have guarantee at all.
Yeah. Do you feel like this space at least has given you time to think about your future works, like being alone and in your home, and like how do you think that you can use this space best, as an artist, now that you cannot go out, like how do you readapt your creative process that way?
And
For
also,
my
I also like Vandy has earlier also shared about the plans about coming up this photography workshop for young Cambodians.
yes,
So I think that's also a very exciting plan that you have for the year two.
Can you share a bit about that then? That's quite interesting.
well, how I use my space during the pandemic. I mean, like we talk about the workshop. Um, I'm mostly watching films.
Ah,
I
that's
just
so good. No, it's
yeah,
good. I realized that your work has also shifted from like photography to filmmaking, and like it's a very different way of exploring like image making.
Mm.
So I guess, are you inspired by any films particularly?
oh, many. Mm. I watch 3 to 5 films a day.
Wow.
What have you recently watched?
Oh my god! But recently, I watched so many Korean films.
Korean films.
Films.
Yeah.
Parasites?
Sorry?
Parasite? The film?
Oh no, but I watched a long time ago. I just watched about military, something about war
Mm.
and military tactics, and then I realized that why in the film why Koreans are so attached to the reality
Mm.
so much, about space, about time, about friends, relationship, food,
Yeah.
so much about reality. Where is the because I first watched European films, so it's more about ideal, dream. So
Mm.
I start. So when I
That's
make
so
film,
true.
yeah. So it is give me lots of influence. And then when I watch Korean films, I said to myself, I cannot make film like that. But I really admire how Korean films are, today in
Yes.
quality and story. I admire that so much,
Yeah.
but I cannot because I started with European films, during years.
When we talk about Korean films, my friend and I always say that a few recurring themes that happen in Korean films always deals with power, separations, and also third of all about this desire to push on with life, this kind of greed, like in a way of wanting to break through, to carry on with life, is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of determinations.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sacrifice are so strong in Korean film. It reflects the way people think, because
And
Koreans they've been through lots of problems,
yes.
with Russians, with uh, Koreans. The war
Mm.
happened all the time, during the 40s, 50s, then
And
the
even right
80s,
now,
the
right?
yeah,
Even
and then
right
the
now
80s.
it's still
Sorry?
even right now it's still separation from for
Yes, yes, yes,
North and South Korea too.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah, so now, hmm,
And but
yeah,
when you talk about reality, but coming back to your work, I feel that your works reflect a lot about life, about transition,
Yeah.
passage, about rite of passage actually. Especially, I remember sitting down and so memorized by the video work that was showcased at LaSalle College of the Arts, and to actually follow the whole rhythms. There's this very fascinating rhythms in your filmmaking. Yeah, could you share a bit more? what inspired you? What sort of like bring this element into your work? Yeah.
The reality.
Yeah, the reality, or even about this idea of passage of life and passing.
Okay. I think I'm more from the beginning. I'm more just like any Cambodian, to see life as in a very pragmatic way. Yeah. So, but now I, I think I have changed to more dreamy, idealistic. Um,
We need both, actually. We
Yeah,
need.
we do.
yeah, because I now believe that inside us, particularly the thinking, the brain, it's just about the collision of times, the
Mm.
past, the present, and the future.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I always think that like time is something that humans always try to categorize and try to fit into established order, but it's that's how it is. You can never
yeah,
really establish anything. It's
because
chaos.
that time I was talking with I was discussing with Andre Pham at Sam
Mm.
talk a lot about time, and then yeah, we have our own series about time, and then we check on the internet. Someone said that um, actually the past, the present, the future happens at the same time in the present.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, that's why we have this kind of collision that I think that creates the consciousness.
Mm.
And then sometimes we kind of lunatic, sometimes we, we're happy, sometimes we're not happy, and 2 hours later, happy again, and tomorrow we just come someone else.
Yes, for sure.
So,
But I also think like we carry times with us. We are like the carrier of the past. We are the carrier of the past, and we are the one that is carrying it forward towards the future. So we are like the carrier, like the vessel, like the
yeah,
memory
but the
we have too.
yeah, but the future is also the past. The past is also the future.
Yes.
The three times are actually, for me, I think, are
Mm.
identical. They
Right.
are the same. Yeah, cannot
Yeah, you cannot
identify
separate
which
it that
one.
way.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you
So,
explore this idea of time in your films? Like your recent trilogy, how has that been? Like what do you think that was an idealistic exploration or was it
I just think about what we live. I don't believe in logic or reason,
okay.
but I believe that we benefit the most the sensation of being.
Mm.
Yeah. So my film now based on sensation of being.
Mm, mm. Oh yeah, Vandy. How about the workshop that you mentioned?
Yes, I
Is that something you're planning for the year?
know long time ago, but I don't have the opportunity to start it. But now but really stupid that the pandemic. And then I have to do it, and then the virus arrives. Okay, let's
Yeah.
try to do it online because we don't have guarantee the vaccine. We are waiting for the vaccine, and then impossible. Just
Yeah.
make it, just do
Mm,
it
mm, mm.
on the net platform. And yes, I initiate this with another person in Cambodia.
Mm.
She was a media student at the university in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, and
Oh,
we together we met every 2 weeks to write everything down.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then I do the most the curriculum.
Mm.
It's super hard. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Um, yes, and like any other workshop, I think photography workshop in Cambodia, I I I, I opened the platform to scientists, to poets, to philosophers, to involve. For example, we can have the invite, a philosopher or sociologist to talk.
Yeah.
Since it is relevant, if you are a photographer, you
Yeah.
have the person must have or should
Understand.
have the capacity of analyzing the reality,
Yeah, for sure.
A new way of thinking too.
Yes, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. So this might help the photographer to to analyze the situation.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Vandy,
also,
and also when you mention poets, right, it also goes back to how often I think your work is very poetic, and the way
thank you.
that goes into. Is that something that you enjoy a lot, poems and such?
Oh
Besides
yeah,
writing
yeah,
and
yeah,
reading.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I to see reality through reason, I think it's quite limited.
Mm.
I, but for me, to use poetry to see the reality would be a great pleasure. To It's a great way to explore, to explore. But I think the person must be very sincere and very must be very brave
Yeah.
to really say what he wants. Yeah,
Mm.
really say what he wants and to really try to go deep inside. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
That's so interesting. Like hearing you talk about the mindset that you should have as a photographer. It's not just taking photos. It's really like putting your own genuine and authentic self into the way you view your surroundings. I think that's quite interesting. So I was actually wondering like with regards to your old photographs, and most of them were shot in Cambodia themselves, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
it seems like you have a very strong connection to the land, and you're trying to kind of like sieve out the trauma from this land. But now that you're traveling a lot, like how do you find yourself connected to that material?
You mean the land is the country, right? The
Yeah,
Cambodia.
yeah.
Yeah, because I am more familiar with this country.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, because well, I was born there. I was raised there. My education was there. Shit education. Yeah, I still have a very strong trauma
Mm,
during my school years because we all have there are so many dogmatic teachers in
right.
Cambodia. So but now I am a bit better
Yeah,
uh,
you're free.
because long, because I always dream about school teacher
Mm,
all the time. But now I can see the dream has changed because I resist inside my dream.
mm.
I mean, sometimes I hit the teacher. Sometimes I talk back to the teacher that
Yes.
I already passed my exam. Why I do it again? Yeah, because they forced me to take the exam again.
Oh,
Something
wow.
Oh,
it's terrible time. Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
And yeah, something about the country because I know the country.
Mm,
I know the country, and my history is there.
yeah.
So, and I refuse myself to work where I live. Because it for me it's too opportunistic.
Mm,
It's too easy.
right.
I
Right.
refuse to work where I live. Mm, mm, Yeah. So
I
I
see.
don't know the land. It's quite mystical. I cannot. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, you don't have to explain,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
your
yeah.
art itself.
Why I go back again and again. Mm. I don't know why. Just mystical. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, that's so cool. So for this workshop thing that you were just mentioning, are you gonna do it online? Has it begun yet? Or um
Yeah, I think I have to do it. I would love to be there to
yeah,
meet people, but the time does not. It's not a
yeah.
good time, with the virus. So we might use.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just actually wondering, like, as a photographer, how do you see yourself like adapting to this online space? Like, are you open to the idea of showing your works online, or how does your work place in this?
Yes, I just recently shared all my the three films, monologue
Mm,
trilogy, to people on the internet, so they can watch
mm.
until the 30. Now it's
3rd
30.
June.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
Which
but yeah, sharing films to one another is okay, but looking visiting museum or exhibition virtually. we can we can do it for a short period of time, but
yeah,
I hope I hope this would not go forever.
yeah. I've
So
heard
we
that
don't
it's
have to have,
becoming a
yeah.
trend actually, and it might be the new way of, I guess, like art for the sake of just sharing art. Yeah, not your thing.
I hope not. I hope
Yeah.
this,
No, it's not.
I
It's
mean,
not human being. It's not human being. Human being. They
Mm-mm.
love.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love being together. Very communal, com,
Mm.
like community.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
we're not very different from animals.
And I also think that is also when you actually visit a gallery or museum, you experience art. It's not just about seeing; it's about the experience in front of the work, about your
That's true.
space,
Yes,
and
yes.
that's sometimes very hard to own that kind of space on internet because you could hide yourself in a room watching a film, but there's so much things distraction within your own living space
Yeah, of course,
or
of
your
course.
family. And also, it's very hard to keep the attention span on the screen for a very long time
Oh,
without
yeah, of course.
getting distracted, like get a cup of coffee or do
Yeah,
something else and be back again.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's not the same. It's not the same feeling. It's the
Mm.
feeling. It's
That's
not the
true.
same thinking. Sometimes when we go to physical space and
Yeah.
see the work, we think about something.
Mm.
The affection of the work. Yeah, but at home, I don't know. And if you look at the photograph or painting, the internet connection might change the color.
Yes,
Something
yes.
like that. Lots of.
That's
That's
true.
why they want to go to 5G for the real time streaming.
Oh.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
even when you think about 5G or 4G, not every country have arrived at that 5G. Yeah.
yeah,
And
but
the
it's
kind of
sharing.
accessibility to technology also varies from country to country too. And like everyone trying to do this tech communication catch up right now to enable this sharing because the sharing the use of the technology capability varies. Yeah. So
Mm.
so when you mention like these connections and like I always experience a conversation whereby the phone call dropped when I was talking to people from Myanmar because the connection just couldn't go across. I would just keep
Oh
dropping and
no.
calling again, again, again. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like Vandy, when I think we have not yet asked, how long have you been residing in Tokyo?
Japan, yeah.
Oh, 4 years already. I'm
Wow.
I'm leaving soon to Taiwan.
Oh,
Wow.
heading to Taiwan.
Yes, yes.
Is that going to be a very long stay in Taiwan?
I have received an artist visa for 1 year.
Okay, okay. Wow.
Yeah, of course I have to live there by my own.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I have to fulfill some projects that I submit to the immigrant.
Mm.
For example, give a talk, action. Then I,
Yeah.
then I can extend my stay up to 3 years maximum.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow. Now that like all the borders are closed though, do you feel like it's important for your work to be traveling around? So like going to Taiwan, why did you choose to leave Japan and also, all these things?
why Taiwan was
Yeah.
Well, I really love tea and the
okay,
spirit of
yes, they're very good tea.
yes, and also the spirit of democracy in Taiwan
Mm.
that I really like there.
Okay.
And um, and and the people are nice. And
Yeah. That's important.
also the artists are very active over there.
Mhm.
I don't know how much they fight in the art scene, but because I never I never been to the art scene. I never met artists, but I love the spirit of democracy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, and the spirit of community. I love that.
Mm. I really like what you said about how solitude is another way of creation. Like, so how do you manifest this? Do you write a lot about what you think when you're alone and like, or how does these quiet moments come out in your art?
Yeah, I write a lot, but never finish.
Never finish. That's every
There's
artist
short,
struggle.
there's particularly the short poem.
Ah, wow.
That's okay, but come to a short story, impossible.
Oh, impossible. I feel you.
Writing like that because I'm not. I don't have patience
Yeah. Mm.
and very messy.
Mm.
But for me, the best when I write, I have to do it today
Yeah.
until the end and then finish it today.
Yes, you like sit down, you don't touch anything else,
Yeah,
just right. Yeah.
and no disturbance.
Mm.
For example, if I write 1 or 2 pages and then I go to somewhere for a night or 2 nights, finish.
Mm.
So it's possible.
Impossible.
Yeah, and also the life with a wife, it's not really okay. I tell.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
guess telling your story in visual, telling your story in visual, in photograph, in filmmaking is like the most is perhaps the best medium for you to express your thinking and your thoughts, right? And and how do you started taking on this medium? Is it because of your art school or teaching? How do you start encountering when do you encounter photography and it become part of your creation?
um, it was 2004, I think, when I met an art teacher at university, a private university,
Mm.
which I didn't have a chance to finish too, my school too. I ran out. I ran out of school. So yeah, so
I can imagine you running out of your school. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, the teachers, her name, Aaron Gleason.
No.
Eric, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he was my First, my English teacher, and then she became my art teacher, the art history teacher, for just only 3 months. And through my writing, she can see that I'm the strangest person in the class.
Wow.
Yeah, I just write. I don't know. I don't know who, what capacity. I don't know. I don't know. I just write because it's an assignment. I had to do because she gave me pictures, 3 pictures,
Mm.
and then post a short story. Is
Oh, wow.
a picture of a man, a lady, and a boat,
Okay.
and I composed a tragic story, short story out of that pictures.
That sounds so fun. I would love to
Yeah,
read it.
yeah, that's just a nice way, to
Yeah.
write. And then later on, I met her again. She became my art teacher, and she
Mm.
came to ask me, "Would you like to take pictures?" Yes. And before that, another teacher gave me a camera. Her name
Ooh.
is uh, uh, Lee Bun. It's a professor in communication, and
Wow.
she also photographer, and she gave me a camera because she has she has 3 expensive cameras, but from time to time I borrow the camera, but she forgot. Uh, I lost her camera, and then she bought me another
Oh.
analog camera, the
Yeah. Yeah.
Yashica, which
Wow.
I hated so much from the beginning
Yeah.
because I love digital. And why she bought me a film camera, and then when I take picture with that film camera, my God, I start to love film because it's a Yashica with the contact lens, Xi lens.
Wow, wow. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's a very good lens.
Oh yeah, yeah. I start to take pictures. Wow, so great, my God. So then from that, then I start to keep the camera inside my bag
Mm.
every day. That's how I started. And then Aaron Gleason introduced me to Visual Arts Open, the first art show in Cambodia, organized by Pixel Pixel.
Disappear. Yes.
Yes, and that time his wife Linda Sapon, and then yeah, I was the only very young photographer that time, 2005,
Mm.
and who exhibited
That's like
a
20
long,
years old.
yeah, a long AP photographer, EPA photographer, Reuters photographer. I was so scared. I was so, oh my God.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
So then I started, yeah, and then the thinking I start to think about my position, my
Mm.
as a photographer. What is it?
Yeah.
Uh, yes, I still have no answer.
That's okay.
Maybe this is a life, whole life search of answer, like, you know,
Yes,
life.
it should be this way. Yeah, it should be this way. But yeah, but I try to maintain my position. To
Mm.
be try to be sincere, to be just.
Yeah.
I try because I don't know because the reality keeps changing all the time. So
Yeah.
it means I have to try to maintain my position all the time.
Yes.
Not so easy. But,
Now that you share about how you encounter photography and how Erin inspired you to start photography, could this
yeah,
be also a reason why you decide to start the workshop for young Cambodians? Like this encounter, that the kind of wonderment that come that happened because of photography, and the photography allows you to see and to imagine.
Yeah, but because when I started with, let's say, instinct. I don't have any knowledge about photography, about the world, about my
Mm-hmm.
country, about myself. No idea. It's up 100% instinct. Desire, just instinct. And
But that's the most sincere kind of motivation, You don't know anything about it, but it's just you trust that your heart says that this is something that you want to do.
yeah, but instinct, it could also be very dangerous sometimes.
Mm.
Most of the time, very dangerous instinct. Yeah. It's so powerful, so we don't know. We must know a little bit how to control it
Yeah.
or to justify it. Perhaps not control, but to justify, to know a little bit. But I hope my experience in photography or the thinking in photography would help the young generation to to um, to understand more about this kind of medium
Mm.
and the artist himself or herself.
Right.
Because my curriculum, I don't think it's easy for them because it concerns philosophy, sociology, and music.
Wow. Yeah.
You, yeah, because I think in Cambodia, the music, the part of the brand, the music brand, it's not really work.
Okay.
Not really working.
What do you mean by not really work?
I think they have very little experience in music. They only listen to the own music.
Mm.
And the old music, the Cambodian music is music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Nothing more.
Mm.
So we have to question why the people still listening to this kind of music without touching anything else.
Right. Right.
I mean, why don't they try the classical music? Why don't they try the Vietnamese music? Why don't they try African music or European music or Celtic music? They don't try. They don't try.
Mm.
So, and music for me is quite important because music is very mysterious. It's like writing.
Yeah.
These two, for me, music and writing um, can penetrate our inner, I don't know, feeling or
It's
something like that.
soul, like deep in the soul.
Exactly, exactly. They provoke something.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain. I don't know. I still try to understand. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, like I was gonna comment that when I was watching the video, your films, what really drawn me to the film was the music because like the choice of the music was so emotive and like it really made me feel connected to the film. It was very nice. So yeah, did you choose the music as yourself as well?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I don't have any. I don't have anyone to help me. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, but I don't have the knowledge of choosing music for the people because it's just instinct.
mm,
Yeah, I have yes. Of course,
wow.
I tried many music, but that it worked. It worked. It worked. I don't
Yeah.
know why it worked. I don't know.
It's
But
okay.
Because
Don't need
yeah,
reason.
but I think the word, like, as human, we try to be in a way analytical, in a way trying to understand. Perhaps many things in life is not to be connected via understanding. Sometimes life itself is also connected by the emotion, by the feelings, you know and that is whereby, when you mention about instinct, it made perfect sense because you can't try to understand love. You can only feel. Yeah, and it's, you can't break down into component about elements, sometimes about life too. Yeah, some yes, but some no. It's yeah, and this is whereby when you mention about music and how this music, sort of percolate deep into our mind, deep into our heart and soul, and we can't really explain like the process, trying to explain component, but somehow it just feels so right, and the word feel comes in very I think it's very intrinsic of arts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Element of
yeah.
feelings.
Yeah, it can, because I think life is music, life is word, writing, life is painting, and of course, I think music. When we hear Beethoven, I don't know, Symphony 9, 5, it's really suffering. Like my friend said, but you have to think that suffering is the source of knowledge.
Yeah.
Without suffering, we don't have the knowledge. Yeah, and
The process of suffering is really painful.
well, it's a beauty, It's a
Yeah.
beauty. Yeah. Sometimes things don't come easily. For example, when I write my text, the text for my monologues, my monologue film,
Mm.
I don't plan it. It was unprecedented because I was on that time. I was on just on the former graveyard.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't know it's because it's just rice field. Now it's
Wow.
now it's dry, and the farmer just said, this is the graveyard, and if you dig 1 meter underneath, you will see the bones.
Wow. That's mad.
Yeah, but how that
Yeah.
possible? You make the people still use the land, to find
Mm.
stuff.
Mm.
And then, and my sister is somewhere, in front of, I don't know, somewhere just in front of me under the two mango tree.
Mm.
Then I started to write the feeling about the heat, the sun, the sky, the
Yeah.
land, the past, everything. It recalls everything. It's I can say it's so harmony.
Mm.
It's so harmony. Even what I write is about tragic or drama or
Yeah.
terrible thing.
That's true.
And yeah, and then people say at the end, "Oh, it sounds so poetic." Okay,
I've heard like a lot of artists tell me that it is suffering that fuels this creation, and like I always think to myself, if it is even possible to create good and poetic art if you are always happy, definitely not, right?
oh, that's no good. That's no good or bad. I don't think that. There's no good or bad. That's no, it's just it's just us. It's just us, I believe. Because
Yeah.
we have added up this kind of values to distinguish between good or bad.
Mm.
Mm.
Well, of course, sometimes it's okay to have good or bad, right? So we can justify our action, our attitude, but
Yeah.
it doesn't always work.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't really recognize this is the bad or this is the good. This is the good or this is the bad. We don't know.
Yeah.
Particularly the tribunal system is terrible. Particularly Cambodia, if you don't have money, you bet you good guy. You don't have money, you lost. You bad guy, you have money, you win.
That's the sad reality of life.
Oh yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I have a small little question for you. You know how you said that when you first got the Yashica, you didn't want to use like film, and then after you saw it, you really liked it, right? So now, do you mostly use film photography only, or do you sometimes use digital? And even in your
Oh,
films, because like I remember seeing how there's a very film-like grain on it, and I was wondering if it was edited or anything.
no, I moved to sorry, I lost my secret. uh, I I quit analog to digital in 2013, I think, because
Okay.
it become expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Yeah, because I buy one roll of Kodak film is 35 millimeter. It's already 10 euros.
Yeah. Wow.
Impossible.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's hard for me to release the shutter speed sometimes.
Yeah. It's tricky.
Oh, I cannot.
Okay, I
And that time
see.
I was just bought a Leica M6,
Wow.
very cheap. The guy really likes me, so he discount.
Oh,
For,
that's so nice. Leicas are so
but
expensive.
yeah, but I don't have much chance to take pictures with that camera because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And then I try to save some money to buy a digital camera.
Mm. I guess now it's also about like sustainability. With digital, it's like endless amount of photography.
It's infinite.
Yeah.
And we don't have the pleasure, don't have the pleasure of looking.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's too, it's consumerism.
It's very mindless. Yeah. Very
Yeah,
mindless.
then look at the screen. So we lost contact with reality. It's a consumerism, because
Mm.
put a card and then lost. You have 3,000 pictures, depending on the size of the card, and it's
Yeah.
a consumerism. Yeah, consumerism with films. We sing a lot. We don't see what behind, on the screen. Nothing. It's just your brain,
Yes. Your brain.
your brain
Yes.
carefully. So you
Mm.
still have love, and with digital, finish.
Mm.
We become a machine of ourselves.
That's such an interesting way to look at. Yeah. Look at it.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Right.
It's too
This
fast,
whole
too much.
advance of technology, the technology sort of become very inevitable, heading towards digital photography because analog photography is so hard to sustain. Not only just cost, but nowadays, like within Singapore, there's only like 2 or 3 photo lab that still process film, and it's getting lesser and lesser each year. I think
Mm.
there's one that is just very near to our office deck. Yeah, but but I guess that even as people looking at thousands of images, we are also looking at thousands of millions of images on the social platform, Instagram, and yeah, and uh, we are surrounded by all these images around us. So what do you think about this? Like this image world we are living now.
Yes, actually, as you might agree with this, because digital is easy.
Yep. For
Put
sure.
one card, you get 1,000 or 3,000 pictures.
Very
Super easy.
convenient. Yeah.
And then easy is about us. It's about us, monkey, the ape.
Mm.
Because we human beings, we only we, we want something out of this easy, which means I would like to do easy thing, but I get lots of money.
Mm.
This is our brain. Yeah. Because my wife just read a book about that, and then she we discussed it. Actually, it's already happening. We do this every day,
Yeah.
but we don't really try to understand our attitude. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So So human being is just one easy thing.
Mm.
So digital is really fit our 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 needs. Yeah. So yes, looking at the thousand of pictures on the social media like Instagram or Facebook, this is for me is a abyss, infinity.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
endless, really. Just
we
every
no
day.
longer we no longer feel the images.
Mm.
No
Yeah.
longer, yeah. It just we are falling, into abyss. When you scroll, it's abyss. Something surprise you all the time. It's not about image, it's about the gesture,
Yeah.
the attitude. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I
So
guess
the
that's
Facebook,
why it's important to have like physical exhibitions because then you can really stand, look at one image and soak it in all the more. And then the importance of a single image in an exhibition space becomes so much more important than something you see online. Do you think?
yeah, it might work for just a period of time, perhaps not forever,
Mm.
not
Mm.
a permanent way of seeing exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, because the internet connection might cause
Yeah.
any problem with the color or other things.
Mm.
Because when we go to the physical space, we feel the presence of the others, the artwork or the photographs itself.
Yeah.
That 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 cause emotional have response.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just being in the physical presence of the work itself is a very different way of seeing something.
Yeah. Because it's because we are human beings. We don't have this kind of
Mm.
habit.
Mm.
Well, if we were born, if someone is born and then he was raised inside the forest, it's fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the concrete houses or elevator. He doesn't know. It's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not, but you don't get used to it. Don't get used
But
to it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
I talk a lot with a friend of mine about life. The happiness. For example, in
Mm.
Africa, people enjoy the nature. Nature. Nothing.
Mm.
Mm.
100%. Which
Yeah.
means I can say some lots of areas in Africa, no hospital, nothing. You just eat and dance.
Yeah. And that is their whole reality.
Yeah. The sun,
Yeah.
just wow.
Yeah.
But what we what those group of people must not experience. For example, the
Anything
city.
else.
Yes.
Correct. It will be so overwhelming for them. It will
Yes.
ruin the
Yeah.
image.
And like the Khmer Rouge, in
Mm.
1975 when they evacuated all the people out of city to
Mm.
live because the Khmer Rouge wanted the people to live their lives like a country, like a peasants,
Yeah,
peasants,
peasants.
yeah, peasants. Go back to the Middle Age. Live with the nature, growing rice. But come on, it's not it's
gonna
not
work.
workable.
Yeah.
Because they already eat noodles or coffee, and then then the day after you put them inside the rice wheel, it work like a possible.
Exactly.
Sometimes this is a kind of contradiction because on the rise of now, let's say, ecologists want to go back to the past. The life out of grid without internet, only small house. But I don't know.
So if you actually were given a chance to be reborn, would you rather have that life where you're just in the forest, in nature, no exposure to the city?
I would like to be.
Provided you believe in reborn.
No, 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 I don't believe in that. But I would like to be a bird, you know. That's
A
it.
bird.
And
Yeah.
live a very short time and then finish. That's it. Because we're supposed to live about 20 or 15 years naturally.
Really?
Yes, naturally.
Oh.
But since we have intelligence, to
Prolong our
let,
life, yeah.
to control the nature, so we have to pay the price, the suffering.
Yep.
Yeah, too long. You stay 100 years, 80 years old. You have to pay the price.
Yeah.
Suffering.
Suffering.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for 15, 20 in this one. Already a lot, huh? 20, 15, 20 years old.
I'm 20, so I would probably be dead now. Dying soon.
Sometimes I'm just kind of stupid to get jealous with the butterfly, just only
Because their life is so short.
so short. It's only they live only to make love, and then they die. That's it.
That's the life.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
I wish that everyone could. I mean, when you speak about like life flashes in that way, I thought that is also like a very romantic idea, like living life that bursts out in glorious of color and love, and then phew, finish. Like, but it's also something when I would think about like, uh, can we take out life, and we also must learn how to let it down. Also had to learn how to let it go. But I guess that for human is the idea of let it down or let it go is something we've always struggled with. Yeah. So that's when we are passing of life, we always struggle to let it go. When we encounter things that doesn't happen, and we also had to deal with disappointment, like you have shared just now, like full of disappointment, but also learning to let it go. And and this is a constant, I think, within human, or rather, there's a constant for me too, like this thinking of like taking out life and also learning to let it down. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Because all the time we always question about happiness, right? All the time, even unconsciously, you know. But for me, it doesn't exist. Happiness. It's only perhaps you very short, huh? Very short. One coffee. You have to
happiness,
really
cup of coffee.
just absorb it. If you feel you are happy, feel it strongly.
I like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you smoke cigarette is okay. You're gonna die, but it's so.
Yes.
If you read something and you happy with that,
Read it again. Just, yeah.
yeah, you
Feel it completely.
that
Yeah.
it doesn't last long.
Mm.
Happiness doesn't last long.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a
uh,
very sad note to,
yeah,
but it is true.
yeah, because some people, I think most of people, the work, the money, food, family,
Yeah.
this happiness, and then they think this will be forever, and then tomorrow they all get poor, and someone dies, and how do we deal with that? How?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we don't know the future. We don't know nothing. So for me, like my friend too, we agree that okay, something that we feel happy, talking with someone you are happy, you have to remember it.
Yes.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
I think this is also the moment now during this pandemic. There's this uh, article that I read about while we are at home. We become even more mindful of little things in life more than ever. Become very mindful. We become more connected to oneself, and we also become very uh, connected to the people living with us too, because we can't avoid their presence, right? Being at home, but at the same time, it's
I
sort of
go crazy. Yeah.
and all of a sudden you start to feel that yeah, you're very mindful more than ever. The smile that appear in the person that loving you, and the smile comes impressed onto you so deeply. And very small things like having meal together become a very interesting process whereby you start to be very mindful of the time that you spend more than ever. Yeah, but I think this mindfulness struck me when recently when I was in the morning, I heard the chirping of the birds, and when I walk out of and look out the window and
That's
see
so
the
cute.
yeah, and I see uh this bird that landed on my potted plant, picking up food from my potted plant. And in the past, I will be okay. There's the birds outside. I need to rush off to work. Yeah, but I actually this time round I actually stood for 10-15 minutes looking at the whole process because the bird is so small
Yeah, yeah.
and there's so much food, and the birds has to make many visits to take the food, fly off and come back, and fly off and come back many times. And but the process, just observing very simple nature in the city that I'm living in gave me this sort of like, I don't know, you call it a peace or a kind of like a deepening awareness about my surrounding more than ever.
Mm.
And I remember standing there and looking at the whole process, and then I told myself, okay, Gwen, you better grow more potted plants and bear more fruit so you can feed more birds. Yeah, but okay, sorry, this is like very, very, very exciting, but I was like, yeah, so I love to grow. I love plants. Yeah. So that's something that struck me, like this whole process. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because you have time. You have time to really, um,
connect to the environment.
yeah, to environment. Yeah.
Yes.
To me, I consider myself unemployed.
No.
So I have time, a lot of time. Sometimes I sit downstairs, on the bench under the tree, and looking at the birds. Almost every day I do like that, and look at the sky and the crows. You know, lots of crows in Japan.
Yeah.
So beautiful. It's nice to be aware of the Surrounding even small birds in the life of the birds and caterpillar. It's quite interesting.
But you know, Rattana, I don't think you are unemployed. I think you are you being an artist, you are employed 24 hours every day. Because artist is your life. And being an artist is working every day. It's very hard. Like I have a friend, I mean, I have many of my friends artists in Singapore, and they say that there's no such thing as public holiday for artists because, you know, every day of your life, what you're living and what you're doing all constitute towards your creation. Yeah, and it's not like you say, okay, public holiday today, I don't think about my creation, I don't think about art. That's not true, you know. Yeah. So yes, I think artist is a lifelong career, you would say, as long as you're living.
That's actually a very nice thought to end on, since we are like a little bit out of time. But Gwen, do you have anything else you want to ask?
No,
Thank you
I'm
so
really
much,
so
Rattana.
happy with the chat. With
Yeah, I enjoyed this conversation a lot.
But I think what also comes across is like this ideas and process and knowing the love that you have for writings, but also a lot about music and the way that you talk about how these elements are instinct that
Yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot from this talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and your thoughts.
Take good care and stay
Yes,
safe.
take care, stay safe.
And I hope to see you soon in Singapore. I don't know where, maybe in Taiwan.
Yeah, maybe in Taiwan.
Maybe we could meet in Taiwan and meet up over really good food.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you, Rattana. And thank you, Gwen, as
Bye.
well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.